We have a very special guest here, and
I'm here.
he's so here right now. This is Rob Scallon, everybody,
Hey,
and
everybody.
he is a very, very popular YouTube sensation from, man, when'd you start? What year was that when you first started?
Oh, dude, I got my. Also, thanks. Very happy to be here. It's cool to be part of
Yeah,
your
man.
world for a little while.
Welcome.
Really appreciate you guys getting the guitars.
For sure.
Much appreciated.
For sure.
Yeah, I got my. I got a YouTube channel in 2007.
Ooh.
And then I have like very specific dates. But I'll say that again. But yeah, in January of 2008, I think it was January 20th, January 21st, one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
In January of 2008, I put out my first song as a solo artist on YouTube, and that was also me completely dedicating myself to like, I'm going to be an internet musician. I'm going 100%. This is my career. I'm going to be an internet musician.
Was
So
that your first video? Was it your song?
That was my first video as a solo artist.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had prior to that, I was like trying to make videos with like bands I was in, and we made one in a weird band that I was in with a friend that was like trying to do really edgy stuff, and I had like skate videos on it. But like
Cool.
January 2008, I put out Summer, which was me completely dedicating myself to being an internet musician, going after a career as an internet musician and YouTuber by extent. So like,
Love that.
So yeah, January 2008 was when it was like, this is my career. You know, I'm making this my career.
How old were you back then?
I was 17.
Okay. Had you worked any like jobs or anything? Like were you working the job on the side?
I worked at a skate park.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Which one?
I worked at Ladoff YMCA skate park, and
Okay.
I taught skate camp there, and like
Sick.
also my job was kind of like being a lifeguard.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when you're a lifeguard, you can't swim. But at a skate park, I could just skate all day.
Yeah.
And so it was the best possible job I could have had as a teenager. I'd clock in, I'd skate all day, I'd clock out, and like, you know, teaching skate camp and being a camp counselor, I loved. It was awesome.
So where did music first come into your life? Like where you as a musician?
Really, really early on, and it just kind of snowballed. My first instrument was a drum set, so I started with that. I don't know what year that would have been. Maybe I was in like 5th grade. And then shortly after that, I found I was at Guitar Center in Arlington Heights, and I found the DVD "Animals Should Not Try to Act Like People" by Primus.
Okay.
And it was a DVD of just like all their music videos. And as a 12-year-old, it just blew my mind. I was already really interested in making video. I was making a lot of videos, like skate videos, and just like, you know, just videos with my friends. Like we would do like, we try to make like movies, you know?
Yeah.
And then at that time, like, just I'd never heard music like that before. I was like, oh, you can just like do anything you want. Like, what is this 6-string fretless bass? Why does the drummer have 2 bass drums?
Yeah.
Like, how is the guitarist getting that sound? I need to understand all this. And I kind of like got obsessed with it. And then at that point, I was like, I want to make music videos. And then I bought a bass. Bass was my second. It's like, I need to play bass like Les Claypool. I need to learn slap bass. Slap bass was just like the coolest thing in the world to me. And then from there, I then went on to guitar. And once YouTube, you know, once I found YouTube, and it's like, oh, you can make videos about music. This I don't know. This is my thing. This is gonna be my job. This is gonna be my career.
And did you know at the time, because like YouTube as a career, like you know, being called a YouTuber, that back then wasn't a thing.
No.
So like how'd you know like this is gonna be it, like, and actually, you know it could bring income in?
Yeah, it was kind of a thing, but it kind of at that time it kind of felt like a well-kept secret. Not like people were keeping it a secret, but like no one really knew. So like one of the ways I first like started promoting myself was I went to YouTube. Back in those days, you could go to a page that had the top 100 most subscribed people.
Okay.
And then it would just be a list of all their channels. I emailed every single one of them. It's like, I would love to make music for your channel. Just like give me a shout out, put my link in the description. And so through doing that, I met like and got to talk to just like a ton of full-time YouTubers back at like early days. And then like I was, you know, trying to be as active as I could, you know, meeting people, collaborating with different people. Met a lot of really good friends at that time. Met a lot of like early YouTubers, and then started going to like the VidCons where I could actually like be there in person. And like being part of that early YouTube like community is one of the greatest joys of my life. Like that was such an amazing, special thing. Like going to those VidCons, and it was just, we were just like a group. Being a YouTuber was not like something that like everyone knew about. Like we were a group of super nerds. You know?
It was really a community then.
Yeah, and there was, even within that community, there was like the thought of doing it full time was still kind of like, oh, this is really cool that we're going to be able to do this for a little while, but there's no way this is going to last, you know?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't that many people that were like, had the same attitude that like I had, or like Andrew Huang had. I met him around that time too, which was like, this is the beginning of something really, really big. Like we're part of something really, really special here, and we can like shape it to be as good as we can. Like we can have a really big impact on what this is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think I really lucked out from just having like really great role models too at that time. Like Hank Green, you know, the Vlog brothers, Hank and John Green, like they started VidCon. Like Hank ran it.
Okay, gotcha.
And like Hank Green was just such a, I don't know, such a great influence. And
is he like a mentor of sorts?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And just that early, I don't know, early YouTube was just something really, really special. I could I could ramble on about it for hours and hours, but like there was something really, really special about being in those early days. Like I joke with, to put it in perspective, like I joke with Andrew Huang, like when we started, like when we met, when we were trying to be full-time YouTubers, there was literally not a single channel with 1 million subscribers. Not a single one. Not one.
Really?
Not a one.
Just didn't even get there yet.
Nope.
That is special.
Yeah. And we knew we were part of something like part of something really
It's
special.
the bleeding edge, truly.
That's how it felt. Like that's what we believed. And everyone thought we were crazy.
I bet, right? It's like, oh, what's this new YouTube? Like, what? You're wasting your time, kid.
Yeah. There was definitely like, at least with the musicians around me, like the ones that I went to high school with, there was very much like a stigma around like being a YouTuber or an internet musician or like having that be your primary focus was like not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like not real, not legitimate. Which was also weirdly like a good guide of like where the opportunity is. Like,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
where's the stigma of it not being real?
Yeah,
Like,
truly.
Like, all right, I guess it's like promoting on MySpace and YouTube, you know? But yeah.
And here you are now.
Yeah. You know, I like, it's weird to be at this point. It's weird to be this far into it now. You know, like 2008 was what, 16 years ago?
Yeah.
17,
Eons
20,
ago.
30, 40.
And now with like, you know, keeping up with the algorithm and all that stuff, how much YouTube has evolved. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
I'm sure your
constantly
process
changing.
has changed
Of
from when
course.
you started to now. Now, are you a lot more like, do you look at analytics a lot and like, does that affect your
It's
content
kind
at
of
all?
the different. I used to be totally obsessed with analytics.
Okay.
And now less so. Though now I look at it a little bit less in. Also, just because like unfortunately I had to take a bunch of time off last year, like medical stuff, dude. And then like this year, like I'm still not fully back up to like me and my team aren't fully back up and running. And so the channel's going a lot slower now just because we're not putting out as much stuff. And like the stuff we are putting out isn't like performing as well as it was. It's more like, you know, whatever. Like, so I'm not looking at it now just kind of for that reason, just kind of bums me out. Like I've got to the, you know, not that the channel's doing bad.
Yeah.
And we're just not uploading as much, but I've gotten into the habit now. Like when a new video comes out, I'm not on the internet at all. Like new video comes out and then I like go skate or something.
Yeah, separate yourself from it. Yeah.
But yeah, it absolutely, you know, it's part of, it's a really big, complicated system, but certainly like what works on YouTube, what the audience wants, what the audience is interested, of course, changes, you know, what we make.
So to that point, how do you choose what your content is now? Because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
I bet you it's like is it just like where you're just, you know, shooting the shit with people brainstorming, or just have a inkling idea and just do it, or what?
It's not even brainstorming. Like that's kind of like a question I'll get, like, oh, where do you get your ideas from? And it's never really like that. You know, the ideas are easy. Like,
Yeah, okay.
Ideas are, there's a million ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And as you make stuff, like, it just kind of snowballs into other things and other opportunities.
Yeah, true.
Like the hard part is making the videos happen, not so much like what's a good idea.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
I can have the idea of like I want to do a video. Like right now, we've been wanting to do a video about making a piano from scratch. Like we did making
Cool.
a guitar from scratch, like an acoustic and an electric. We would love to do make a piano from scratch, but then it's like what company are we going to work with? Who's going to let us film? Like, can we travel? Is it worth the budget to travel this far?
Did you do the video though? I thought I saw some video similar to that. Did you do it
Yeah,
already?
no, I didn't. So I got maybe
okay.
someone beat us to it, but no, I haven't done making a piano from scratch. But yeah, as you're making stuff, and I'm kind of just going after what I'm excited about, which for the last year and a half has been a little bit harder with other troubles. I've been less excited in the last year.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm kind of just following what I'm excited about, and every new video we make leads to like 5 other ideas and 5 other opportunities, and then you kind of have to balance like what am I excited about, what's gonna do well, how much is it going to cost? How much time is it going to make?
Yeah.
And so that's an ever going series. It's kind of, you're always making these like educated bets on like what to work on.
Yeah.
But at the core of it, it's just like, what am I excited about?
Isn't that really what it is, man? I think, especially as we get older too, we got to meter our energy and parse it out. So like, I love that you're you're kind of following the urge right there of like, what am I going to get hype about? Because what's the point of doing something we're not hype about at the end of the day? You know what I mean? You'll just burn out. So
exactly, and especially if you're going to want to be doing it as long as I want to be doing it.
Yeah,
you have to. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yada yada.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit tough to figure it out because it's always even as I've had the last year, I've needed to like last year I probably was just like out of commission for like 6 months out of the year.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, but even with that, the problem is never like, oh, what are we going to do next? It's like, I want to do all these things. Where do we place the resources?
Yeah. That's hard. That's hard to figure out.
Yeah. Cause like even something as simple as like we did building a guitar from scratch. Like that was like a risk.
That's fun.
Which now is like, as far as watch time, like my best performing video, which is what YouTube like really wants right now. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
That and shorts, really long videos or like
really short videos.
30 seconds, It's a weird, like it's one of those two right now.
It's attention spans and stuff, right? So.
Yeah.
Wait, what was I saying? I forgot what I was
Speaking of, yeah, it's either that or like my best performing videos right now are the ones that are like 2 hours long.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
right
cool.
now, the metric that like the easiest metric to how well is this video going to do is how long is it?
Okay.
Right now,
Okay.
That's what it is. For
So
my
it's just
channel.
1-to-1. The longer it gets, the better the view count is.
Yeah, the more YouTube pushes it out. Obviously,
Okay.
the video needs to be at a certain pace and be enjoyable.
enjoyable.
throughout,
For
which
sure.
is also really hard. There's not that many YouTube creators that can. Well, I mean, in different spaces there are. But
For sure.
It is a difficult thing to make like music content that's like 2 hours that people are gonna.
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a movie. It's a feature.
Yeah,
it's a
totally.
Rob Scallon feature
At,
film.
at the end of the day, like it starts with your idea though. Like you offer value, whether it's entertainment, education, anything like that. I watched some of your videos, obviously, and I learned some things that I should have already learned from articles that I've read and stuff. And I feel like you're a really good teacher.
Thanks. Thanks.
So when you talk about the guitar
Thank
and
you.
things like that, I was like, this finally sunk in. Even though I've looked this up before, I was
Yeah.
Right on.
I was selling guitars. I've looked this stuff up before, and it didn't click like this.
Okay.
So I think you're a really, really good teacher.
Thank you so much. I was a guitar teacher for quite a few years.
Okay.
Nice.
After I was teaching skating, and so I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it. I try to make the videos to where like the most important audience member is the audience member that knows nothing about the topic.
So true. So
Yeah,
true.
Like we're making these videos for everybody, but the people that are already really excited about guitars and already know about, like, to get back to making a guitar from scratch, the people that are really really into it and know all this stuff, they're excited to hear a lot of the information again.
Yeah.
And like more of my focus is like, what about the person who's 12 years old who like doesn't have a guitar, doesn't know anything about guitar, doesn't know how many strings are on a guitar?
Yeah.
Like I want to make the video, make sure it's formatted for them and to bring them in, like, come on into the music world.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's so big. It's so big, right? Like I love
Yeah.
that you're being inclusive about it, because I think a lot of times people, when they're making content, they want to make it just for a specific subset of people. But yeah,
It's easy to think about like the most hardcore of the viewers, but I find that often like they're easier to make stuff for. That makes in certain ways, but yeah, I'm more interested in bringing people into music, and then At least that's more of the focus. I find if you start there, it's easier to make stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
Rather than if you start with people that are like and in other ways, the people that are like really, really hardcore about guitars are harder to make things for, because then you'll get really into like Tonewood or something, and then there's like a whole debate. Like I'm more interested in painting a broad brush, if that makes sense. But
yeah,
totally.
But back to the like original question, like if I do, that was like a risk. Like, okay, this is a lot of time, a lot of resources. We'll see how this works. And then once we make it, and I really like the video, I'm excited about the video, and it's doing well. Then it's like, now, okay, we need to make an electric guitar from scratch. Making a piano, making a drum set, making a violin. Pick any instrument. Now we have a format, and there's just a ton of video ideas. But it's the harder part is not coming up with the ideas. It's like figuring out where to place our resources. Because if I had unlimited time and money, I would love to do making a blank from scratch for every instrument.
Absolutely.
Every single one.
yeah.
I would love that.
Plus, you'd probably be in like a villa in like Italy or something. There.
Yeah, it would be so cool to be able to do it. But we only have so much time and resources. So that's more what's hard. Coming up with the video ideas is not hard.
For sure. So, actually, speaking of like your arc right now, right? Because I mean, I figure we probably both want to know this. Like, if you started from there, got to where you are today, how did the Schecter deal come about? Because like, now it's pretty sick that like you got that set up.
Yeah,
man.
dude, I'm so proud of these things. I'm so excited about the new line. Like, this is one of the coolest. I mean, having a signature guitar line is like one of the great
dream.
Yeah, one of the greatest joys of my career.
Yeah, man.
Dude, rules.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations, because
yeah, man.
Thanks.
I love the white satin too.
Yeah,
It's so sick.
Yeah, I
so
do
sick.
as well. Yeah, this is the second line with Schecter. We got a 6-string, 7-string, 8-string, and left-handed versions, which is awesome.
Ooh. Lefties out there are praising you.
Yeah, dude. Lefties love Schecter.
Inclusive.
Yeah. All about it.
All about it.
Yeah, so it was kind of a way around to get to Schecter. My first guitar endorsement was with Schecter. My first instrument endorsement was a cello company.
Oh, really?
I don't play cello. That was the first time I got
That was my next question.
Yeah, I don't play cello, dude.
I was just about to ask.
But I had to come up with a hour-long cello set to play at NAMM, and that was the first way I got to NAMM. That was my first endorsement. Cecilio, and I made a lot of I think a lot of pretty awesome videos with their instruments.
For sure.
But yeah, my first endorsement was with Schecter, and that was the main like I got a Schecter Omen 8, wrote Anchor.
Cool.
The anchors are on the pickups in here. It's like my first. Excuse me. That was my first experience with extended range, and I got an 8-string. Like to make videos with. You know,
Sick,
it's
sick.
like, oh, this is gonna be a cool thing to make videos with.
Yeah, man.
And then I'll sell it or something, and fell in love with it.
So, are you a big Meshuggah fan like me, or what?
I am a big Meshuggah fan.
Nice.
I enjoy it. Well, I mean, I am a Meshuggah fan, but like, I guess not like you. I'm not. People are like fanatic about them, but
I do love them a lot.
Not that I don't. I don't know. I just don't. They just haven't been on my radio.
No, that's fair. I only asked because that's the first time I ever heard an 8-string was when I heard the album Nothing, and I was just like, "What is this?" And I'm like there with my 6-string trying to like tune it down to that. I was like, "This ain't gonna work at all."
Yeah. No, the first time I heard 8-string, I must have been Toast and Abasi. Must have been Animals as Leaders, and then I got one, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to write something that's like." You know, not metal on it, and I wrote Anchor immediately, and then fell in love with the instrument.
I feel like we talked about this a couple years ago when you came by, because you had those fan fret models that you went a couple
the 7
years
and
ago.
8er fan.
Yeah, and those were super sick. And I feel like we were talking about how you were like, this is such an underrepresented instrument, not for heavy stuff.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
Great for heavy stuff.
Well, yeah.
But it's not all it can do. It's just like a more grand piano version of the guitar. It's more notes.
I like thinking about it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, dude, the 8-string for me recently is like more. Just recently, it's more just like a big fidget toy. Right now. Like that's how I've been using it. Like
awesome.
I just want more guitar. You know?
Yeah.
And I've been writing a little bit with it as per usual. But anyway, so I started with I had my Schecter Omen 8, and then they reached out to me and wanted to support me. And my first like 10 emails with them, the artist rep at the time, their artist rep was in all caps. Every email was in all caps. Do you want a 9-string? Like, yeah, cool, we'll send it right away. What's your address? And And so I'm endorsed by them for a little while, and then I wanted to make a signature 8-string. Kind of long story short, and I reached out to them at NAMM, and I wasn't at a point in my career to have like a signature model, let alone like an 8-string that wasn't just for metal. Is like what I wanted to do. It's like I want to make an 8-string that like looks and sounds in a way that you do more than just metal with it, you know. And then I had that opportunity with Chapman Guitars. I put out 3 lines with them if you count the just change in fretboard wood.
Yeah, okay.
And then that's where I met Sophie, who does all my social media and Andrew Hong's social media. She used to be the artist rep for them, and was there. And then it was time to move on, and Schecter brought me back with open arms, and
It's awesome, man.
and we put out the first line, the second line, and working with Schecter has just been amazing.
They're awesome.
It's a dream come true for sure.
Sweet.
That's great.
How involved were you truly in the design and everything about this guitar?
All of it. A lot of it was
100%.
made with the specs that I wanted were from Chapman days, and then like there's quite a few differences that we went over to Schecter. But yeah, it's exactly the specs that I want.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah, exactly the specs that I want.
Swamp Ash body,
Yeah,
Mahogany
swamp ash
neck?
wings, mahogany in the middle, and then
Cool.
and then neck through.
Ebony
I love
forward?
neck throughs. Yeah,
ebony fretboard.
yeah, ebony.
Gotta love an ebony board.
Classic.
Buttery, classic.
Yeah,
That is
yeah, I
a
love it. And then just
comfy guitar.
Yep, it's everything I need, nothing I don't. Got humbucker, single coil tones.
Hell yeah.
Just,
So this is the C1, right? C1, the contrast.
yeah. The new version is called the Contrast, and the new line is just exactly the other line, just with a different color. So that's
Cool.
the only thing that's different about this one from the last. It's just the more contrasty colors, which is kind of what I wanted to do at first. But when I was with Chapman, we wanted to put out like a matte black, and that didn't really come to didn't really ended up happening. And then so when I went over to Schecter, it's like we got to do the matte black version. So we did the matte black. And then now we're able to like start experimenting with colors, which is really cool. I love the matte black as well. I was like, I want these out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I love the
Appreciate you
colorway
guys
on that.
stocking them.
Yeah, man. Well, they're awesome. And I know we stocked the last ones because we had you on and loved doing a little jam with you on those guys. So yeah, but this is so cool,
Dude,
man. I really do love that matte white. Yeah, I almost like never feel like I see those in person, and it's just it's just awesome.
I like having the wood grain in there. Like I don't know. I just think
It's great.
Just think it's classy.
It is.
It
It
is,
is
yeah.
classy. It's classy, but you can shred the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
So this is definitely like one of the biggest joys of my career is having a signature guitar line. Like going into a Guitar Center or whatever, and like not that you should.
Go where?
Yeah, never mind.
Where?
Go away. But it's just like it's wild. Like I guess I'll not use specific names.
No, you're
you're
good.
good.
We're just kidding.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah.
Guitar Center.
You're good.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah, we've all been there.
we have.
I saw you went back to your hometown Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Pulled your guitar off the wall.
Dude,
Insane.
pretty surreal.
That's
Pretty
wild.
surreal.
That is wild.
Insane.
Yeah, and I just went into another one recently when these came out to see if I could find one in the wild, and it's just a different. I don't know, man. I love just going to music stores, and it just seems like. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see viewers too, like in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like through comments and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know what else to say about it. It just feels awesome.
It's lovely. It's all you need to
really-
say, man.
Yeah, it's
a dream.
It's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true, man.
Yeah.
So,
to have
do you
a
guys
signature model line is a dream come true.
got any plans to do anything else? Gonna do some more models, I assume? Or
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're like, it'll never stop.
As long, I would want to keep going.
What would you do if you got another model? Like, what would you change about it?
Oh well, next we were talking about. I don't know if this is like exclusive or whatever. I mean, we'll see if it happens. But we were thinking about doing an acoustic and like expanding.
That'd be
the line.
cool,
Oh,
man.
interesting.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, the guitars right now, like the electric, wouldn't change anything about the electric guitars. They've been through like a lot of iterations to get it exactly where I want them, and now it's just about changing colors.
Love it.
So I don't know, unless my style changes drastically. I don't. Even still, I think I don't see myself changing anything about the guitars anytime soon. Maybe we'll do something fun like put a whammy bar on it or something.
Yeah.
But like this is exactly what I want.
Love that. You're in a good spot with it if you're just like, well, just change the color. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
do anything different.
Have you been
Totally.
thinking
That's
about
all.
any extremely crazy colorways at all? Because I know everything's been pretty
yet.
like classic and like beautiful, and like
Yeah,
I
I'd say
wondered
this is
if
a little
you.
out there. I don't know. I mean, right now the next colorways we have that we want to have coming up are nothing too crazy. This is probably as loud as they get visually. I don't know. We'll see.
Love it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Just love it, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that right there.
Yeah, very proud of it. And yeah, there's just I don't know. There's just so much coolness to have. Like if I'm in a bad mood, it's like I can just like, oh man, I got a fucking signature guitar.
Yeah,
my guitar.
yeah.
This is what the hell? This is.
Where do you speaking of your arc, in your arc, what are like, give us like 2 or 3 or however many you want highlights of like this happened then, this happened
throughout
then.
my
where
whole
it's like-
career?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Was there like a YouTube subscriber amount? Obviously, this gets hard.
I mean, yeah. I remember 40,000 subscribers was like, that was really, because I went full time. I was working at a library. I went full time in 2013 because like a few things happened all at once. Like Hank invited me to be part of his band. Patreon became a thing, which is my friend Jack. My friend Jack started Patreon.
Oh, really?
Jack Conti?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
cool.
sure.
He was part of that original like group. We were just
So, because you got again, the community right
totally,
there. Yep.
totally.
Yep.
Just another nerd.
Yep. I saw him post like a big video of him when he was just like making crappy videos too, and his arc as well. And now he owns Patreon and stuff. So it's just wild.
Yeah. He created Patreon, and when like I remember him announcing it like it was yesterday because Patreon came out, and then I got an account, and then I went full time. Like that was
Love it.
That like extra $400 a month or whatever from my patrons. Shout out to them. Like that was enough to where like, okay, I can quit my job.
Oh, I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, that and being in Hank's band. And another kind of funny thing that happened at that same time was I had my first like viral video, but it was of my friend who was on my second channel. My friend Brian happens to be the world's fastest clapper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he would do it like as like a like a trick in school.
Yeah.
And I remember telling like he at the record, and I having this funny conversation with Brian where I was like, dude, if you like really practice and like I'll get with you and I'll practice, I'll help you, like, and if we film it, like we could make a good chunk of money. Yeah, if you really learn how to clap. So like because at the time I knew how to like I had some experience like licensing out my videos to, like, at that time there was a lot of like shows around the world that would just like take clips from YouTube and they pay a license.
Yeah, okay.
And so I had some connections there. And I was like, Brian, if we get a minute video of you beating the clapping record, like we can license it out. And so that happened at the same time too. And so for the first like few months, we were like, splitting the earnings of it. And now every year I just get to look at the analytics and tell Brian how much his clapping made. And now the video is like 11 years old, but still I can get to call him like, hey man, I owe you like $1,000 for this year.
Damn, wow.
And I make like a spreadsheet too, like 2 years ago we had a really good year. I was like, dang man, you're making like $6 per clap.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he still the record holder?
No, it's quite a few people have.
So
I think
funny.
In turn, because of the video, it inspired other people.
I was just about to say that. I was like, it has to be because of that. Now everybody's like, I got to do that too.
Yeah.
I got to be a clapper.
Yeah. But that was a big thing too that happened to happen around that time.
So they got the clap. So
They got the clap, yeah. People got the clap. I love making the spreadsheets too every year where it's like, not spreadsheets, but like little documents. What was the RPC, the revenue per clap, because he clapped 800 times. And so if he makes like $1,600 that year off the video,
The $2 per
AdSense,
clap right there.
That's a $2 RPC.
that's premium. That's
Yeah,
premium.
that's good.
That's the big bucks right
Yeah,
there.
that's like some of the great things about YouTube or being a creative from a business side is like if you make something like that, it's just out like generating views and revenue, and that's kind of like what the business side of YouTube really is, or like being a creator in my eyes is like you work really hard on something that then goes out and makes you $1 a day for the foreseeable future, or like YouTubers call it's like the long tail. Like you have a great first day and then it just like goes on forever.
Yeah.
And you just stack long tails. So you try to do that, like, if you can make 1,000 things that make you $1 a day, now you can like,
There you go.
now you have that back catalog that can like build a business. And that's essentially how I run my business is like the back catalog is the amount that I pay on production for everything.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a whole other thing.
That allows you to do all of your, like the level of videos that you're doing then.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I have a really, really awesome team. I have some really, really talented people helping me make stuff.
Yeah, man.
But back to the original question, once I went, well, I just went on a tangent.
No worries.
Once I went full time and got to 40,000 subscribers, 40,000 subscribers was the number. Was like, this I can pay bills at.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, my bills were not. You know, I was.
Yeah.
You know, 23, and
So it's just like weed and alcohol.
no, not too much on either of those things, but
I'm kidding.
yeah. But it was just like me and my girlfriend at the time, Tamara, who's now my wife. It was just, you know, us in a small apartment, and
Yeah.
so at that time, 40,000 subscribers was like, at this level of audience, I
Yeah.
can pay my bills, and so 40,000 was a big one.
It's huge.
And 100,000, you know, and 1,000,000, you get the plaques.
That's so cool.
really cool.
So cool.
2 million was a pretty cool day because Andrew Huang also hit 2 million on the same day.
No
We hit
way.
2 million on the
Wow.
same day.
Seriously?
Yeah, just total.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
serendipitous right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like by total happenstance, our careers have had a similar path, which is really nice to have like a colleague.
Yeah, man.
What
That's special.
what's like one unexpected like blessing from your career, like one unexpected thing that you didn't foresee even in your wildest dream, where you're like, man, this is really cool. I wouldn't.
We were talking about it earlier, throwing out the first pitch at Wrigley Field.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
was really cool. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa. Like that was really surreal and so cool for so many reasons and so special for so many reasons. One of which being like, like going after the internet YouTuber musician route. This is like respected now. You
Yeah.
know? Like this is,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it was not respected. You know, it was not considered a real thing. And, yeah, that was one of those. I've had a lot of really wild moments in my career. Maybe the stuff I get to work on too. Now with the new series where I get to meet a lot of really fascinating musicians, you know, or even just like fascinating people. Like we were saying earlier too, like I get to hang out with Jonas Neubauer, like 7-time Classic World Tetris champion, you know, and
Yeah.
I get to be friends with Jonas, or like hang out with Jaws, Aaron Homoki, a skateboarder. Like I get to meet a lot of really, really cool people. That's maybe like the coolest thing. And like have them over, they stay with us, we film, and like I don't know, you get to meet a lot of really, really passionate people.
Just seeing how your sphere just grows like
Yeah.
that. It's so great. Yeah.
What's been the hardest part?
The hardest part, 2023 has been the hardest part, man. Yeah, I had to like medical stuff.
Said it put
And-
you out for 6 months or so.
Dude, yeah, throughout the year, maybe
Man.
like 6 months. And then the times where I was like really working, I was like not at full capacity.
Okay.
So that's like 2023 was the hardest part. That was a real stress on the whole system.
Okay.
And so
But you are 100 now.
I'm at 100 now.
Good.
Oh yeah, glad you're here then, man. I'm glad you
yeah,
decided
happy
to
be
meet with
here.
us,
Thanks.
man. Yeah, it makes
Thanks.
it more special, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was pretty wild, but it was also a good. I'm really, really fortunate that the business is at where it's at, and like
Yeah.
the audience has just been incredible. Like the internet has been really supportive to me.
Great. That's great.
And so also is a test on like how good is the back catalog, because like we're not putting out anything new,
True.
you know?
But you can stand on your own 2 feet with that, and that's exciting. you know?
Yeah. So it's nice to be on the other side. Another thing, back to these guitars that just happened to me like a week ago, that where I really felt like a lot of love and support.
Yeah, man.
Was like, last year. It also happened to be a year where I'm like, I'm gonna invest in a bunch of new projects. All right, did that. Basically, started all these new projects, spent all this money, and then had to cancel everything. And then so last year was the first year that my business operated at a loss since I've been doing it, and then this year as well, and with like taking money out for like medical stuff or just other projects. Like this year was operating at a loss until a week ago. I got the check from Schecter for the first 3 months of sales of this new
way.
line.
Hell
And then
yes. Hell
with
yes.
that number, like, and I just had a call with my accountant too. It's like, here's how much money we need to be like profitable again.
Yeah.
And I got that check for this first line, and it was like, profitable now. Like,
Nice.
no longer
Dude.
operating at a loss.
How did that feel?
Dude, I
How
cheered.
did that feel? Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah,
You should,
let's
man.
go.
Yeah.
I told my wife, like, guess whose business isn't operating at a loss anymore? Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. And I called Adam, who's the artist, right? I'm like, dude, thank you so much.
You
Like,
saved it.
so like, I'm a Schecter fanboy.
Ah.
And so that was big. That was a big moment. So like, as things are getting back up to normal, that was a big one. Like, operating a small business, especially when like your favorite people in the world are relying on those checks, man.
Yeah.
Like, You know, I got it in a good. I'm pretty good at the business side. Like we have a pretty big just like savings account. So it's not, my business was never in any like real huge jeopardy. Thankfully, because I'm a saver and I've been doing this for a long time.
But this made all the difference.
Yeah, but getting to a point where like now we're making money again. Like we're not losing money every month. Like that was a big deal. And then these guitars coming out where when it went over that line.
Rob, was there anything else that you want to add here? Because I know you got this snazzy guitar you've been cradling here.
I did want to add in, you know, in conjunction with you guys, really appreciate you stocking the guitars. Really appreciate anyone who's bought them. Like it's the coolest thing. Like seeing people tag me like on Instagram that they bought the guitars and they're excited about it. It's so cool. It's so cool seeing it in the wild. It's like, yeah, it just warms my heart.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hope people out there enjoy them. Really appreciate you getting them. I'm very proud of these things. Yeah.